Welcome back to the Tottenham on Tour Advent Calendar, day number 3. We're on to the third day of the misery that you're all going to listen to, and we're all going to have a bit of a laugh. I'm joined here with my usual co-host on the Advent Calendars, Mr. Daigle, and we've brought someone we haven't seen in a while. We got Mr. EUJIN. How are you doing today, sir? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, right? Life has taken precedent at the moment, right? So you have to go with the flow.
Of course, but it's day number 3. Everyone's already got the Christmas music on. We've already heard Mariah Carey 75,000 times, and we're all going to giggle and get away from Mariah as much as we love her, and we're going to talk about some Tottenham players instead. But firstly, it's time for everyone's Christmas cracker joke of the day. And Ryan, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Why not this time? One thing I will say before we do that is one thing I am doing right now. I don't know if you two or Ben, more importantly because you're back home. It isn't Christmas until you've seen the Coca-Cola advert.
Yeah, it's not Christmas.
IPTV.
Oh, the days are coming.
I have IPTV, and I am watching UK channels with adverts.
Yeah,
just to try and find it because I don't go looking for it, or I do go looking for it. I don't go watch it on YouTube. I don't wait for people to say it. So I'm watching loads of TV from back home, waiting for it to come, and it hasn't yet. But now, back to
we will see it.
Christmas cracker joke. Okay, what was the snowman doing in the vegetable patch?
I don't know.
Picking his nose.
All right.
It's so bad. It's good.
Really bad. Really bad. Now it's your turn, Mr. EUJIN, sir.
Okay, mine is quite easy, right? Why is Santa so damn jolly?
I don't know.
Because he knows where all the naughty girls are.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think you might win this one today.
Yeah.
What's yours, Ben?
My one is as follows. What do they sing at a snowman's birthday party?
Snowman birthday party. What do they sing at a snowman birthday? I don't know. Eugene, you got a guess?
Snowman birthday party. Nah.
Free's a jolly good fellow, Free's a jolly good fellow.
Do you know what? As you sing that, I'd seen that joke, and a brief part. I shouldn't. Memory like a sieve. But do you know what? Memory like a sieve when it comes to Christmas cracker jokes, but not when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur players. And as Ben said, today is number 3. We got a mixed bag today. Actually, a good mixed bag.
Yeah.
And there's only one place you can really start, and I'm going to bring up the man. People will know his song. A lot of the younger people that have just got into Spurs recently will know the song because it's the original from Nice One Sonny. It's Nice One Cyril.
Nice one, Cyril. Nice one, son. Nice one, Cyril. Da, 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 da.
That's exactly where it came from. I mean, I'm sure we'll go with you, Ben, first. I'll go last on this one because I'm probably the one that can talk, even though it's way before my time. Ben, what do you remember or your dads and family members telling you?
I don't really know, to be honest. When we were having a Ruby last night, we talked about the FA Cup final that he won in '67. And we talked about the team that played in that game. We went through all the players who went in the team. But it's just like that many games, 400 games for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, winning, well, you can see there, 4 trophies. This is a legend at the club that doesn't even get screamed about enough. He doesn't get said anything. You hear a lot about the Mabberts, you hear about the Gazzers, the Hoddles, the Waddles. Cyril Knowles is up there. He's up there. Part of that team in the 60s that played with Gilzean and Greavesy, who we'll get to further down the line of the Christmas Advent calendar. But this is a legend of the football club.
Yep.
This is a proper legend, proper Spurs. 402 appearances.
Correct.
Unbelievable amount of games.
Correct. Mr. EUJIN.
To tell the truth, guys, not much knowledge on him because I guess by the time he stopped playing, he wasn't actually in, didn't get to know him. Right? Didn't get to see him play. But of course, he has won trophies, right? Not many of our Spurs players have actually won trophies.
Yeah, we're seeing this, EUJIN. We're seeing this as we go through this list and through these advent calendar days. The golf with some players with trophies.
Yeah.
And loads without. I mean, all I can say with Cyril is people might remember back in the day, and this is showing my age, back with VHS, there's a very good video that I urge people to try and find on YouTube or other platforms where you can, and it's Spurs' greatest ever 11. Now, this was recorded when Terry Venables was manager, and obviously we've just heard the sad loss of Terry Venables, so rest in peace, Terry. And he speaks about Cyril Knowles in such warm affection. A fantastic player, a cultured player. Like you said, Ben and EUJIN, you win 4 trophies, both the domestic and the European. Obviously, we're not talking league title, but the domestic trophies that are available, cup competitions. 402 games is not to be laughed at. And like I said, if they've brought back a song that was originated for him, how often do we have left backs that have songs?
Yeah.
Or fullbacks? It's not. Yeah. Carl Walker didn't have one.
No, Carl Walker did have one. Carl Walker did have a song.
Phenomenal. Okay, so he did. Okay, but we've had so many. It's not a position you always say, oh my God, he's a standout player. He's a culture. And Cyril Knowles most definitely is up there, and hence the name. Yeah, and that's why it's nice one, Cyril. The next one we have Gary Stevens. Ben, I'll hand it over to you, Gary Stevens. Again, this might be just a little bit before your time.
It's another one that's before my time as well. Quite a few of them are behind. Only three of them are on this list. In my time, about.
Yeah.
But it's again another European trophy winner. 147 games playing in that great team under Keith Birkinshaw. Brilliant football team. Probably could have won more under the general, but it's another one where 147 games. He was there for a while.
Yep.
He played a decent amount of time, and a UEFA Cup that night in at White Hart Lane against Wolves in '84. We still talk about it to the day. How many people talk about where they were when Tottenham won the UEFA Cup at White Hart Lane against Wolves?
Oh, we won against Anderlecht.
Oh yeah, Anderlecht. No, Wolves was 72. 72. Yeah. This shows I don't know anything.
Well, we all have each other's back on Tottenham on tour, and I've made a few faux pas.
I said it to begin with, Brian, but yeah.
But yeah, no, listen.
I know we won one of them against Wolves, but yeah, 1984, won the game at White Hart Lane. That's the one thing I do remember, is we won it at White Hart Lane. And yeah, you can't really say anything else.
There you go. EUJIN, do you remember anything about Gary Stevens? Actually, he's living, from what I believe, he's in Malaysia or Thailand.
Yeah. Gary Stevens, 84, was it the UEFA Cup, right?
UEFA Cup.
At that time, huh?
UEFA Cup.
Yeah, the UEFA Cup. Have glimpses of memories of him, but not that sharp, because I think that is about when I was 84 is somewhere around when I was like 16 years old or something like that. So yeah, and back in Malaysia, when you in 84, you don't get the news of Spurs that instantaneously like you get it now, right? So heard of him, and of course he's come over to Southeast Asia, right? He's I think doing his punditry here with most of the cable service that we have here in Malaysia, right? He's usually on Astro TV, right? Normal pundit there, and he's actually based in Thailand now, right?
Yep.
I've seen him once in the airport walking around when I used to work, right? While he was going back and forth Singapore and Malaysia. Yeah.
So
those sort of things.
Unfortunately, the first thing I remember with him is around my time in 1988, I think it was, or was it 89? 88 or 89. Vinnie Jones ruined his career. There is a tackle against Wimbledon where, as much as I love Vinnie Jones, the person, football, he was an animal at times. And there was a challenge on Gary Stevens, which is horrific. But he was Gary Stevens is an incredible man, incredible human. I loved him at Spurs. Watching videos of him, I just loved watching him play football. Would have played a lot more games for us, I feel, if it hadn't been for that injury. Would have added a lot more to the team if it had been for that injury. And one of the things I will say about Gary Stevens, and this is non-Tottenham related, or kind of Tottenham related, obviously he is on social media. He's quite busy on Facebook. He's quite busy on, is it just Facebook? Okay, it might be Facebook, but one of the nicest guys that will respond to messages, that will engage with the fans on groups he's in. He's in a group that's very, very close to our hearts, Oda Efasa, with Daryl and Elaine, and all of them, great people. Everyone check that out. But Gary Stevens is one of the most friendliest people you find, especially across social media, which is hard these days. But that's about a player. But now we speak about someone who's very near to our hearts. Unfortunately, passed away recently, or after the Champions League final. The late Justin Edinburgh. Now, I've got a fair bit to say about him because it was my time. But Ben,
I started watching football whilst he was ending his career, so I can't really remember him. All I know is I have been to games of football where he played a football match. Well, he was too young to even be there, but I was there anyway. But this was a really good bloke. A really top bloke. We all miss him absolutely dearly. Was a brilliant manager for Leyton Orient as well. The Leyton Orient fans that I know are still missing him, how good a bloke he was. And as a footballer, 2 caps at Tottenham in a bad spell for Tottenham. The 90s are not necessarily the glory years of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But even so, an FA Cup and a League Cup, it's not bad, is it? Not bad for Spurs in the 90s. If we could win 2 caps in this decade, I'd be really happy. But as a human being, we all miss him dearly. This is a really good bloke, proper football man, and anyone that connected with Justin Edinburgh knows how good of a bloke he was. No need to say we miss him dearly.
There you go, Eugene. Justin Edinburgh, remember much about him?
1991, the FA Cup final, right? So he did play. So I guess not much memories about him, vaguely, because like I said, due to our distance and all that, football at that time wasn't, short. That's what it's been short now. But of course, 1991, our last FA Cup.
Yeah. Big up,
Yeah.
Paul Stewart.
Big up, Terry Venables. Big up.
Terry
We do all of them. You look at this. Justin Edinburgh, people got to remember, we've signed some double acts or 2 transfers, like a Cole Norton and a Carl Walker, like a Michael Dawson and an Andy Reid, like a Matthew Etherington and Simon Davies from Peterborough. Well, this is one from Southend United. He came along, obviously, with Dean Austin. I think there was a little bit of time elapsed. It wasn't a double deal from what I remember. But obviously, this was back in the day. We're going through a time now where we're talking about not playing our youngsters and not doing whatever. We brought 2 players from Southend United. Like did the belly and said, off you go. Your age, off you go. Listen, the human aspect of him, he's one of the nicest. I mean, I'm saying that to quite a few people during this Advent calendar list, but honestly, a great guy. At the beginning, I loved him. I loved him as a player. I will never ever forget. People go check it out. Just YouTube, Justin Edinburgh goal line clearance versus Aston Villa. Incredible. His commitment, his dedication, his passion. He knew he wasn't the best, but you would be very, very hard to find anyone more committed, any more determined, any more person that would run for the badge and play for the badge. And obviously, I could only end with obviously his passing the day after the Charity Shield. But one of the greatest things about his family, carrying on his legacy, people will know. The Spurs community worldwide may know, but but obviously at home people will know a very much loved member of the Spurs community died by having a heart attack in the Gilpin pub, which is a stone's throw away from the ground. And it was a heart attack. And the first thing that happened was Justin Edinburgh's foundation sent a defibrillator right to them free of charge and said, here you go, keep this. They are very, very closely linked with Tottenham. And they're determined not to see his sad passing way too early happen to anyone else. And Justin Edinburgh's doing brilliant at Leyton Orient, who's another close affiliate of Tottenham Hotspur. It's taken too short, but rest in peace. And now we're going to move on to a player that EUJIN will know a lot about.
Yeah.
I think this would have been our first dive into the South Far East market. Southeast, that's where we live in England. The Far East. Listen, you're either Southeast, Middle East, Far East. This one is the Far East. Lee Young-pyo. Ben, we'll go to you first, and then obviously we're going to let EUJIN hog the mic for this one. Yeah.
Well, this was the guy I first. A lot of my first memories watching Tottenham were with Lee Young-pyo at left back, because I started really going properly in 2001, 2002. So Lee Young-pyo joined in 2005. So he played quite a bit during my growing up era at supporting Tottenham under first manager was Martin Jol, and obviously we know what happened with Martin Jol. Part of the reason this channel exists. But Lee Young-pyo was a really decent footballer. He wasn't the greatest, he wasn't the worst, but he worked his socks off. Played in the German league as well, for Dortmund and for Leverkusen, I believe it was. He was just an all-round solid player. And my first ever trophy that I ever saw with my own eyes. I know we won in '99, but I was 4, so I can't even remember what I had for dinner last night, let alone but I can remember that final very, very clearly, and he was part of that squad. So massive big ups to Lee Young-pyo.
Do you know what? You mentioned that. Let me say, before EUJIN speaks about Lee Young-pyo, you were 4 when the club won your first trophy, yeah?
Yeah.
How old was you, EUJIN, when the club won the first trophy?
Oh, for me, knowing that when the club won the first trophy, I guess it would be.
Not even knowing, how young was you when Spurs won? Like, for instance, when Spurs won their first trophy, 81, I was 2 years old. I was 2.
To my knowledge, right? Yeah, 81. That's more or less it. So I will be 81. Take away 68. 13 years old.
Okay, so you've had a lot. You had a long time. Wait, we must have won a trophy between 81 and 68. We did.
I wasn't a Spurs fan then.
No, but it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to think. How old was you when Spurs?
Oh, I was born 68. So I guess you go back.
So 4.
Yeah.
So 4. So there you go. So you'd have been 4.
EUJIN and I are the same person.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get at. You look at it now. Like we said, you look at it now. Some people are still waiting. Some people that have been.
No, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, no.
But now, obviously, EUJIN, speak about Lee Young-pyo.
Lee Young-pyo, right? He's more or less the first East Asian player to enter Spurs fray to be playing consistently, right? He was highly rated by Martin Jol, right? Before that, he was in PSV Eindhoven because Martin Jol came from the Dutch league, right? So he was very highly rated. But the only sad part is he played for us 3 years and he had a lot of injuries in between, you know? And the thing is that he was a left-footed. He was supposed to play left back, but in the end he ended up playing a lot of right back positions. You know, in those days they used
left back.
Was it left back, right back,
left back, left-footed.
Right, left-footed. No, but he used to play.
I think he could play both.
He used to play both because he used to be the cover for Asu Ekoto at that time. You'll use him at that position, but I don't know whether, because nowadays I think the left-footed right backs don't happen that often anymore. Last time when we used to play that system, right, we used to have the left-footed right backs and the right-footed left backs. It is what it is. But the system changed, and to tell the truth, right, his time with Spurs, and sorry to compare it with Sonny, at least he did win a League Cup. He has a trophy in his bag, right? That's the sad part I'm saying. But he's more or less, what I call bringing that Asian connection to Spurs. From that onwards, I felt, we could get more Asian players coming into Spurs, right, in the future. But of course, we got Sonny now, right? If I'm not mistaken, did we sign any Japanese players after?
Yeah, we signed Toda. We signed Toda, but he never ever played.
But he didn't ever play. Yeah, he never ever played. So for Lee, I guess he's more or less the first, the groundbreaker for East Asian players to come in. So kudos to him. And to tell the truth, like I said, right, hardworking, the same Korean, that kind of mentality they have. They're hardworking, they're diligent, they give it their all, right? So kudos to him, and I guess he's still involved with football now, right? He's got a lot of he's extended his career in Korea, right? Doing a lot of things with football, more on the youth and all that.
This is the thing, you've got to look at it as well. He came over at a time where signing someone from that part of the world, or signing anyone out of Europe, and it wasn't a well-known footballing country, are the crap. There, what are we doing? What are you doing? Obviously, Park Sung-ji came to, or is Park Sung?
Park Ji-sung.
I always
Ji-sung.
So Park Ji-sung obviously was the catalyst. Like I think
the major catalyst because of Manchester United winning all those
exactly. We had him come in, and obviously it expanded a market that we didn't have reach for. But you know what? I liked him as a player.
Yeah, you must understand, right? During those days, during Lee's days and Park's days, right? A lot of the Korean, Japanese players, right, the East Asian players used to play not in the Premier League, right, or you call Division 1 or the Premier League at the time, right? They were more or less put either in the Dutch league, the German league. Yeah, these two leagues were very popular with them, and they came through from there. Same like what even Son came from Liverpool. Right?
Yep, and you know what? So I'm probably going to put up the most iconic left back for the and when I say most iconic left back, I'm saying for a certain moment, and I couldn't find a picture of him striking the ball. I could certainly find a picture of him celebrating. I think everyone who's watching this knows exactly what has just happened a few seconds before. We saved Danny. We do this all in chronological order. I think we've all got something to say about Danny. Ben, fire away, buddy. You were probably at that game, weren't you?
I most certainly was at that game. That's one of my favourite Tottenham Hotspur kits as well. Was it 2008? I don't know, 2011.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was, can't remember. I was certainly at that game. But yeah, I loved Danny Rose as a footballer. I thought he was absolutely superb. I loved that team that Harry Redknapp built there. I loved watching him play. As a left back under Pochettino, he was excellent. Started as a left winger, but Harry Redknapp, of course, being that guy that liked to change positions when he saw them be like Danny Rose was a superb left back for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. He was absolutely brilliant for years upon years upon years. We're not going to go into the way he was treated because that's another video in all of itself. Many a time, but as a pure footballer, he was absolutely brilliant. But everywhere he went, apart from like at the end of his career where he started to get loads of injuries, but he's part of one of the greatest Tottenham teams we've seen. And one of the greatest Tottenham teams that didn't win anything. He's the only person on this list that never won something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
If you looked at Danny Rose compared to all those players, bar Cyril Knowles, he was probably the best footballer on that list. Yet he didn't, and he probably played with probably some of the best players as well.
Yeah, on the best pitches.
Cyril Knowles played with the GOAT in terms of one of the best ever in Jimmy Greaves and also Billy and players like that. But Danny Rose played with some class players in his time, and I just love Danny Rose. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and it gave me some great memories. But hopefully he's doing some good work now.
EUJIN, brother.
Danny Rose, like what Ben said, right? The memories that he brought, right? The Arsenal goal, and going through all the from all the way to Poch times and all that. But to tell the truth, I've met him personally because he did come to Malaysia. and then we had a meet and greet with him.
Yeah.
What I find about Danny Rose is that he is I think he's quite a reserved person, but he has a heart there. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't blabber and, not too outgoing, all that, but he's very, whatever he says, right, he will actually think about it and say it from the heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way he feels and the way that he thinks.
He listens.
And he listens to you, yeah. And like I said, we won't go there how he was treated in the end of his career, right? Because that was, like you said, another whole total video. But Danny Rose, I feel him quite an original character that we can actually look up to, and the best left back that we ever had in the modern era. So sad to say, we haven't even been able to replace him at that kind of caliber. But that's it. At the current squad that we had, maybe
finally replaced him though with the current left back we have.
Yes.
Finally
we only take 4 years to do that. We only take, like you said again, that's a different show. Listen, I'll be with Danny Rose. Obviously, he will go down, even if his career had lasted one game. He will go down in folklore for a certain goal against a certain team. But I have to say, when he started at left back with Podge, I couldn't stand him. I couldn't, and the reason I couldn't stand, no, that's a lie. I couldn't stand him. I thought he was terrific going forward. Always had been terrific going forward, but always out of position. The amount of times I saw he'd advanced upfield, we'd lost possession, and then they would just attack that empty space. And then Poch got hold of him, and boy, did he make me eat my words, because he turned in to one of the greatest left backs I've seen. Personally, and I mean, in
the same boat as you, Brian. He used to get so angry that
mate, I got so annoyed with him. And literally, people may not know, YouTube guys know, through connections, I got friendly with his dad, and obviously we would talk everything. We were talking everything, and I told him, I said when he was going forward, I loved him, but the way you've just got to look at the way, like we keep talking, how that back four worked. Yeah. The best back four we've seen, and our current back four could eclipse or at least get to those levels. Please God, we'll have to wait and see. But he was an incredible left back. Do you know what? Even for England, there was a time we dominated the England team, and he was he came after Ashley Cole. Have we got? It's the left back. It just goes to show how good he was. Sorry, my hat was falling off like a receding hairline just there. Danny Rose, like you said, Ben, to look at that team and look at that list and to think he is the only one without a trophy is just a crime. But you know what, Danny Rose, what a player to end on! What a player to end on. So that is day 4. No, it's not.
3.
It's day 3. Day 4 will be tomorrow, funnily enough. EUJIN, first of all, thank you for joining us. And where can people find you, sir?
Okay. Where you can find me nowadays, mostly nowhere. Right? I've not done much shows on Spursuasian at the moment. Like I said, life has taken precedent. Right? I'll try to come back and do a few more shows, right, along the way. But moving houses and all that, it takes some time. But like I said, right, at this time, just trying to enjoy what Spurs can provide us at the moment, right? That's how I feel. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Ben, where can people find you, brother?
It's the usual place. The Coffee Company, 2 p.m. every day, 3:30 on a Wednesday. Usual chill streams, good times, having fun, mental health, all that shebang. So get over there. We'll put the links in the chat. But let us know what you think of all the players on the list, memories of those players, all the trophies. Mention who won the Christmas cracker off today.
Well remembered.
Great joke. Was it mine?
I think EUJIN's won it. I think EUJIN's won today.
It's got me, but we still got to ask them the question.
Of course.
Yes.
Everyone here at Tottenham on Tour, we wish you a wonderful Christmas and festive season wherever you are. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and we will see you on day 4. Thank you so much.